Hi everyone, if you're following me for some time, you know that I recently switched from S20 to Pixel 4a. Sorry we are late to the party, but what can we do? Google recently launched a Pixel phone in India, and it's basically after 2 years. So I'll keep the basic info short. This phone just comes in a single variant, the black color, 6GB RAM, 128GB UFS 2.1 storage, so nothing fancy there. It's a simple 5.81 OLED screen with no high refresh rate. There's no expandable storage in it, no wireless charging, but I think that's understandable because of the price. So now if the specs are out, let's talk about the design of this phone. It's a compact and a very light phone, and for that alone you will fall in love with this phone. It's not a premium phone by any means, but I have no problem with the plastic phone. In fact, they're easy to rock without a cover like I was doing it, and so far it held pretty well, not even a single scratch either front or back. In front you get a Gorilla Glass 3 and I think it's okay. Never had an issue with older Gorilla Glass. I like the matte finish of the plastic and it feels really nice in the hand. But the problem with plastic that it's not always perfect. Like I hear a squeaky sound around the power button. It's not a big deal, but these are the issues you will not face with the glass back. I like the orthobolic coating on the screen. It doesn't get as much smudges as an iPhone. And the haptic motor on this phone is amazing. It's basically like a flagship. And there are certain feedback that you will feel that are really nice. Now let's talk about the display. It has a 5.81 OLED display, which is okay. It's not amazing and it's nothing like Samsung or OnePlus display. It can go up to 600 nits and the outdoor visibility was not an issue for me. The only issue I faced with this phone that was the ambient sensor. It's slow, it's not smooth, so you can see the jump between the brightness high and low most of the times. And if you follow my channel, I posted a green tint issue with this phone. It's mostly with all the OLEDs, but with some OLEDs it bothers me. Let's talk about cameras now. So it has only one camera on the rear and one on the front, so nothing fancy. But I think for 80% of people that single camera is much better than the quad system with macro and depth lenses. Sure, you will miss the ultra wide camera once in a while, but otherwise this camera is really consistent and this night sight is one of the best, if not best. My only concern with the Pixel phone was the video, and they didn't have a very good voice recording in the previous generation, but with this phone it has been improved a lot. It's still not as a flagship level like Samsung or iPhone, but it's better. It's a decent 4K rear camera and full HD camera from front. It can only record up to 30 frames per second. But it's a very old sensor and you will notice it especially in night while recording or doing a video call. It's very grainy. So I think it's high time that Google upgrades its sensor. Because apart from photos, it's just an average camera at best. So I recently did a camera comparison between S20 and Pixel 4a. So please go check that out to check the performance of this camera. When you switch from a flagship to a mid-range phone, your biggest concern will be the performance of that device. But Pixel 4a didn't disappoint me at all. So that 730G processor has been great so far. It worked like a charm with the vanilla Android. So do not judge the phone just because it has a Snapdragon 730G and not a 765G. I did play Call of Duty for a while on this phone and I also posted a video on it, so you can go and check that out. The only area where I think the processing is slow and that is image processing, but other than that it has been a smooth ride so far. But that stock Android hasn't been fun always. There are some bugs and limitation to it. Like for an example, you cannot switch off the always on display at night because there's no schedule for it. So you have to go to settings to manually do it. There are no Google payments in India. I also saw a weird bug in YouTube app. So sometimes when you turn into landscape mode, the home screen gesture button will stay on the right side. This phone has an inbuilt screen recorder and it has a USB-C 3.1, but you cannot connect it to HDMI port. So you cannot play games on a bigger screen like this. I also love the swipe feature that you can take screenshot and scan the screen. It comes handy so many times. So that minimal experience with minimum feature has been great so far. There are no unwanted notification or ads. For biometrics, this phone has a fingerprint sensor on the back. There is no face unlock, but I definitely prefer the physical fingerprint sensor over the in-display fingerprint sensors. Yeah, but you cannot unlock when it's on a flat surface. You have to pick your phone up. For sound, I'm really happy with the stereo speakers. It's not a cheap setup. It does vibrate on high volumes, but it's not an issue for me. I also compared with S20, so listen to this. They have good bass. I really like them. Not bad. The bass is also good. It also has a 3.5mm jack, but the output from that headphone jack is flat. There's nothing high resolution, so do not buy any expensive headphones for it. Also, I've seen a lot of YouTubers complaining about the low ringtone volume. This hasn't been the case with me. The ringtone volume is great. I can easily hear from another room. So listen to this. I think it has been fine for me, like it works. So the ringtone has not been an issue with me. The reception on this phone is great and the call quality is amazing. I think this is one of the best earpiece I've used this year so far. It doesn't have a Wi-Fi 6, but that is asking too much for this price. Battery is one of the things that impressed me so much. I'll show you the stats. This phone was lasting me mostly a day or more than that. I was getting around 6 to 7 hours of screen off time. So you can see my stats on the screen right now. Most of the time when I was going to bed, I had almost 30 to 40% battery left. I am not a heavy user, but with my S20, I had to charge that phone twice a day, and that was the main reason I switched from S20 to Pixel 4a. The phone takes about 1.5 hours to fully charge from 0 to 100% with the charger supplied in the box, and that is 18 watt. I think it's really important to mention that because maybe in upcoming phones you might not see a charger. So all in all, it's a great phone, but I still don't recommend it to everyone. The one reason is the after sale service of Google. Another reason, the display is not as great as Samsung or OnePlus, and you can find those devices cheaper than this. The build is also okay. It's a great phone if you just want a Pixel experience and a compact phone. You should definitely get it, but otherwise you can look somewhere else. I think this is the only phone that I'm not going to sell. I'm gonna keep this phone with me no matter which other phone I use. It will be really great to get the latest update from Google. It's a reliable camera and I can totally depend upon this phone. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment box. For me, it's time to switch to iPhone. This is the last good phone you can get this year, so I'm going to tell my experience as this is my first iPhone. So I'm going to tell how difficult or easy it has been for a lifelong Android user to switch to an iPhone. So please subscribe to my channel for that. And if you like this video, please share it with other people. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then,